Just want to show you how to increase a stitch in knitting, that is making more stitches on the needle. This can be done at the beginning, middle or end, depending on what the pattern says. But if I start at the beginning, and I usually like to increase into the first stitch. So we do a knit stitch, but we don't take it off the needle. We then go into the back. You can see back of the same stitch we've just knitted, and then we do another knit stitch and we pull it up. And then if I do a couple more, you can see. So you can see here that there's first knit stitch, that's the increase knit stitch, and 2 more knit stitches, and this little bobble tells you that you've increased, and that can be quite handy if you have to increase every 5 or 6 rows. This little bobble, there you get the chevrons and stocking stitch, and that will let you know when the next increase is to be done. It can be a little bit more difficult if you're doing garter stitch, which is every row knit, because it'll end up looking like this. There is another way of increasing stitches, and that is by taking the loop between the 2 stitches. You can put it onto the needle if you want, and then do a stitch. The only thing with this one is that sometimes you can get a little hole up here, which if it's just above the rib or on the sleeve or the back, then it doesn't really matter. But if it's in the middle, then you don't really want a hole there. And if you have a pattern, it could be incorporated into a pattern. But another thing you can do, if I just do another couple of stitches, is if you lift the bar up, little bar between, put it on your needle, and then you knit into the back of the stitch so the wool twists, then you don't get as much as a hole. It just really looks a bit like that one there. So that's the way you increase in knitting.